This video is to help you with creating the drawing sheet for the car body. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to New, and we're going to choose RH Drawing Sheet. If you don't have the RH Drawing Sheet already in Inventor, you need to go back to the help videos, either in the Inventor module or where we were doing the fillet block and the chamfer block. Somewhere in there is a video that shows you how to put in the RH drawing sheet. Assuming you have that, we're going to go ahead and click on it. Double click rather. And that'll open it up, and we should have a couple of questions to answer to start with. Part name. Remember, these go at all caps, so go ahead and push your caps lock key. And the part name is car body. Student name, all caps. And the period. Click OK. All right, there's our drawing sheet. Now let's talk real quick about what it is we want to accomplish here. We know that we have a hole cut in the top. We know that on the front and the back of the car body we have two different size slots. So we actually need a view of the front and the back. We don't normally do that, but this is a more complex part than what we've seen before. So we're going to definitely need a front view and a back view along with the top view. So let's go to base, and here is where we're going to search for our part. So if we click on the folder, I'm in the Automoblocks 2020 Automoblocks project. Hopefully you created a project that was back at the beginning of the Automoblocks or the car body video. And there's the car body. That's what I want. Open that. Here we go. Now if you have not done car body part 2, the video to help you finish this off, you're going to need to go back and do that first. Alright, so it's a little big for my paper because I've still got to put more views on here. So I'm going to change the scale. Let's do the scale. Let's see what 50% looks like. So 0.5. It's probably too small. So I'm going to do let's do this 2/3. Let's do 2/3. That's a good size. Alright, so that's where my front view is going to go. So I'm going to click once. And when I go up, it's going to give me the top view. I'm going to click there. I'm going to go down and get the other side and click there. And then I'm going to come over here and click here. Now I know that's not lined up the way you want. If you'd rather have it lined up where it's kind of laying flat, then you'll just have to change this front rotation to here. But you see what that does? That changes these other views. So, I mean, that looks okay. Your T9 is in the proper place, but I don't know. I don't know if that's really what you want or not. I think I prefer this simply because these are much smaller. So that's what I'm going to go with. Now, I can do, oops, I'll delete that one in a second. Let's go ahead and do OK. And it's going to show them up. I'm going to hover over this red one. I'm going to delete it. Delete views, yes. What I really need is a side view. So I don't have one. So I'm going to go back to, I'm going to hover over the middle one here. Get my red dotted line around it. Right click. I'm going to go project view. And that's what I want there. The side view. Right click, create. So there's my side view. Now what's happening is I need to slide these down a little bit. Because right now my side view and my isometric are overlapping. Well, first of all, the isometric is probably too big. So why don't we shrink the isometric slightly? So hover over the red dotted box, right click, and edit view. And I'm going to go ahead and shade it. You always shade the isometric. click on the shade button, but I'm going to change its scale to 0.5. So it's going to be a little bit smaller. Click OK. Now I can slide it up a little bit. There we go. We're not putting any dimensions on it, so it's fine to be sort of up, tucked, and away in the corner a little bit. Bring that down just a hair. Bring that down just a hair. Bring this down a little bit more. There we go. I think we're okay now. So now I need to put dimensions on here. Well, we know we had different measurements for the cutout on this side versus this side. So I'm definitely going to be dimensioning those cutouts. You'll notice all the dotted lines they have. Those are all the hidden lines. And if those hidden lines start to get messy and confusing, we can get rid of them. If you go back to the main part here, the front view, right click, edit view, you can turn off the hidden lines by clicking here. And that'll turn off all the hidden lines. That cleans up the part considerably. So we'll probably just leave it like that. All right, so the front here, we're going to need overall dimensions. So where do we find dimensions? Normally it's on this front bar. But remember, in a drawing sheet, you place your views and then you annotate. So you want to click on the Annotate tab. And now we go to Dimension. And this is where we can start putting in overall width dimensions. Now notice, let's zoom in. When I hover, you see the line turn red, but the entire line did not turn red. It stops where the two fillets are. So what we need to do is make sure we're clicking this corner all the way to this corner to get the dimension. There we go. We're going to do the same thing. Click OK. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go from here, this corner, all the way to this corner. All right. I'm going to pull that back one notch. There we go. So now I'm just I can hit escape if I want to move some things. If I want to adjust their position. You hit escape and get out of the dimension mode. All right. The reason I'm doing that is now inside here, I'm going to put my chain dimensions for this to this. And then, okay, and then from here to here. There we go. I want to do the same thing here. I want to do my chain dimensions from the front there. And then I want to do from here to here. Just kind of want to make sure your arrows line up pretty closely here. They may not be perfectly on top of each other, but they're close enough. So those are all of the cutout hole and the overall dimensions. Now the one thing I did leave out is I need a dimension for these fillets that we made. Now the radius of 0.2 is correct, but there are 4 of them. So I need to go over here where this is how it should pop up for you. Text. And instead of just leaving it at 0.2, I need to change it or add space capital X 2. Sorry, no, 4, because we made 4 fillets the same size. So when I put that times 4 there, that basically says that all 4 of these are the same size. And that's what I want. All right, we're going to go down here to this part. Same idea. We need to make sure we get the overall dimensions of the block, the overall dimensions of the cutout, and the fillets. You know, there is something that we aren't going to get from this view. So I'm going to have to do a section view, but that's okay. I'll show you how to do that. We can't see depth. That's all. But I'm going to show you how to do a section view. All right. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. You can watch the video multiple times if you need to get it. So we're going to do overall. And then we're going to do bottom height. I'm going to do overall for the part in the middle. There we go. Now I also have to do overall width. Actually, the overall width of the part is 3.7 because 3.17 because it's up here. I don't have to do it again down here. So all I'm going to do is the distance here. And that's going to have to be over there on the outside. And then I'm going to do the distance here. Stack those together. And that's it. We'll do the same thing up top. We've already got overall dimensions done. We've got overall height done because we did that down here. So that 1.53, I don't need that again. I mean, that's what I would get if I went from outside to outside, but I don't need it. So now we're going to go from here to here. Pull a dimension. From inside to inside. Pull a dimension. Try and line those arrows up. Do the same thing here to here. Pull a dimension. And this is where it gets a little weird. So I had to hit escape. Now I can grab the number, move the number up top. So you had to hit escape first, and then you can hit, that clears you out of dimension, and then you can move it. Now I click the dimension button again, and go across, trying to line up. There we go. And that is the external dimensions. I don't really need to put any dimensions on this other than the depth. So this is the only dimension I need from here to here. Nope, I don't need that there either. Sorry, because I did that here. So I have one external dimension, two external dimensions, three external dimensions. I've got all three. So I don't actually have to put anything here. So you know what? Let's delete it. No, I do want to dimension the T9. So let's do that. So what we want to do is dimension the T9 and get a rough estimate. So try and find the farthest part to there and like pull a dimension for that thickness, how big the letters are. And then try and pull sort of a center, like click on the 9 somewhere, center to here, so we can see how far away it is. And then maybe from the outside edge of the T to the outside edge there. So that's just showing you the location and the size of the T9. We can do the same thing here. We can dimension the thickness, how thick we made it, 0.05 inches. If you remember changing that embossment. And then the final thing is, this is something new. This is not something I was planning on teaching you, but here it is. We're going to go back to, we're going to hit escape. We're going to right click, so get the red dotted box by hovering, right click, and this time I want you to go to section view. Section view allows us to cut the part in half to do a cross section. So I want you to go hover until you find the middle. So see, it's giving me a dotted line saying that I'm in the middle. But I want to go outside the part just slightly in the middle. Make sure you still have your dotted line. So I hover, find the green dot. There it is. Move up, keeping your dotted line. Click once on the outside, go straight down. Click again. And then right click, continue. And now look, we've cut the part in half. So what I've done is I've cut into it, so now I can measure the depth of these holes that were cut out. It's exactly what I need. It's the last 3 dimensions. So we're going to do a depth, which is from here to here. Okay. We're going to do depth from here to here. Okay. Actually, I'm going to flip this around to get it out of the words down here at the bottom. It's cluttered a little bit. And then the final depth dimension again, here to here. There we go. So we've covered a lot in this. We've talked about embossment. We've talked about cross-section. We've put dimensions on everything. It does look like a cluttered sheet, but once again, it's a complex part. Now, if we were using regular engineering size paper, it would be a much bigger sheet and we could spread these out a little bit better. I mean, really about the only thing I could do right now is just grab this and drag that out a little bit. Maybe pull this down a little bit more, just a little bit, because we don't want to get the number down here on the line. Maybe we can push this up by grabbing the red dotted boxes. Give ourselves a little bit of room. Grab the red dotted box, slide it up, and then I'll bring this over just a little bit. That cleans it up just a little bit. All right, that is the drawing sheet for the car body. It's complete. No, it's not. What am I saying? I forgot fillets. We did the fillet here, but here we have outside fillets. So that outside fillet needs to be dimension. So we click dimension and stay away from the green dot. Bring that out there. Good. And this time, here's another term you can use. Because it's an outside fillet, and it doesn't happen anywhere else but these four. Instead of typing ×4, I'm going to type space capital T, capital Y, capital P, period. And that means typical. So typical means the outside fillets are 0.3. The inside fillets, once again, try not to grab that green dot. I'll do it here. And we can also do typical, or we can go back to the old standard of ×4 for the inside. We already got those there. And we did not do these here. Now, we don't have to do the outside because it's the same as the one above. But we do need to do the inside one. And once again, ×4. Now we're done. I hope this helps. Just try and make your drawing sheet look as close to mine as possible. Don't let it drive you nuts. Watch the video over again if you need to. We'll see you next time. I forgot. We save it as a drawing sheet. So just go to Save As, or Save, and save it as a drawing sheet. But then we also want to go back and go to Save As, hover. No, sorry, Export. Go to Export, PDF. It's the car body PDF. And you can leave it in this folder. But it's the car body PDF that you want to upload to Canvas. So make sure you go to File, Export, PDF. That's what goes into Canvas. All right. Until next time.